Hello again, I'm Andy Millard, and this is TFAC Talks, presented by the Tryon Fine Arts Center, where we talk with area artists and learn about their lives and work, especially during these unique days of 2020. Our guest today is TJ Jeter, a wonderful and talented musician from Union, South Carolina. I first encountered TJ when he played at the TFAC Amphitheater last year. It was just him and his guitar. He had this very natural way with the music, this easy rapport with the audience, a complete lack of artifice. And he was just so dang good. I said to myself, there is a story there and I want to learn about it. So let's do that right now. TJ Jeter, welcome to TFAC Talks.
How are you? I appreciate you having me.
Now, your music, it's got this real mellow sort of vibe to it. And I know that you do a lot of covers, but you also have original music as well. So what are some of your influences on your music?
A lot of my influence comes from family, first and foremost. A large majority of my family are singers and musicians. So there was always music around growing up from my parents, from my older siblings, younger siblings. There's always music was everywhere. Also, if we're talking about recording artists who are influences, I've always loved the writing style of Sam Cooke, Bill Withers. I love their writing styles. I love the musicality of Stevie Wonder.
Absolutely, I can hear those same kind of roots in the music that you do. And I wonder, how do you feel inside your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever, when you're standing in front of an audience and you've just got that thing moving back and forth where you're doing the music and you're getting the feedback from them? What's that make you feel like?
I don't know if this makes sense or not, but I feel it feels natural. It feels like I'm where I'm supposed to be. A funny thing about me personally being a musician is that I'm not really a fan of huge crowds unless I'm performing. I never was a party goer and things like that, but to stand in front of a crowd feels natural, feels normal.
You seem to be a very gentle person, kind of mild-mannered.
I am. If I'm in a room not playing music, I'm probably in the back or in the corner, like just being as relaxed and chill as I possibly can be.
So many of of the folks that we've talked to, the performers that we've talked to, have said that their gigs have basically completely dried up, evaporated during the pandemic. Has that happened to you too?
Oh yeah. Everything came to a screeching halt. It was one phone call, one email after another with venues saying I'm sorry and explaining the whole situation, which of course we all knew the situation. But
I note that in your non-music life, you teach reading intervention in young elementary school kids, which to me is incredibly important work. And I have got to believe that you are those kids' coolest teacher.
I hope so. I love it. I love kids. I honestly didn't know how much I love young children until I got this job, and I'm in my third year with elementary level kids. I actually I got into the school system as a substitute, and I strictly worked with high school kids. And I liked the high school kids. That's what I thought I wanted to do. That's what I thought I always wanted to be around. But I got the opportunity to work with younger kids, and I just kind of fell in love with all these babies. And now I have all these strong views about children and parenting and all these different things that I never saw myself having.
In a lot of ways, teaching is the most important profession in the world. And I'm glad that there are people like you who do it. I want to change gears a little bit. And now that we're having this conversation, at the time that we're having this conversation, it's in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. And we're in a national conversation, a reckoning, I'd say, about race in this country. And even though we're in the South, some of those issues are maybe kind of invisible to folks in Polk County because we have a very small Black population, probably about 5%, 5.1% was really small. Whereas in your home in Union County, it's more like 31%. And you're just an hour down the road from us. So I wonder, is there anything that you can share from your own perspective that might help someone like me kind of understand and process all this a little bit better?
I would say that it's important for people like yourself, your demographic, to know and to not necessarily feel guilty about it because you didn't do it yourself, but to know that the way the country is presented to you and the way that America is to you is not the same way it's presented and offered up to everyone. So, and I think a lot of the contention that's happening right now and the pushback on people that are fighting for equality, a lot of the pushback comes from a place of, well, I don't see it that way. Problems are problems, even when they're not a problem to you. If you understand what I'm saying? It's still raining outside. It's raining outside whether you have an umbrella or not. It's still raining. That sort of thing.
That makes a lot of sense. Just because I don't recognize it doesn't mean that it's not happening. And particularly for in an area like ours, where it may not be as visible to us.
And I want to give you an example of me in particular, because of the way that you yourself during this interview have described me as being mild-mannered and gentle. And I think that I would think that most people that know me would characterize me in the same way. There have been several times that I've been searched for no reason by police officers. There have been several times that I've had guns drawn on me by police officers for no apparent reason. I can remember one point I was headed home. I was leaving my girlfriend's house, and I got pulled over, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for the officer to get up to the window. And once I see him come up beside me, I turn, and when I turn, I'm looking right at the barrel of his gun.
What?
He hadn't even addressed me. He hadn't even addressed me yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a foreign situation to me.
So we have, and what we also have is my parents and my friends' parents growing up. We were all sat down and talked to about how to handle yourself when you go into a store, how to handle yourself if you're ever approached by police officers, how to handle yourself in all these different situations that I'm sure some white people have had these conversations, but I'm willing to bet not at the amount and at the rate that my Black counterparts have.
Yeah. Wow.
It just goes to show we have two different experiences, and we don't hate you guys for not living it because we don't want to live it. We certainly don't want you to live it. We just ask to be believed when we express it.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate it. Just shows kind of how much we can learn from one another. And
Right.
clearly, you are doing your part, both in your teaching work and in your music. And I just, and really in conversations like this one, I appreciate your time and your candor very much, TJ.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, to learn more about TJ Jeter and his music, check out his website at tjjeterent.com. That's TJ Jeter, ENT, as in entertainment.com. And as always, you can see what we're up to at the Tryon Fine Arts Center by visiting tryonarts.org. And thank you so much for watching this edition of TFAC Talks. TJ, thank you. I can't thank you enough. And everybody, stay safe. Let's get through this together. And for everyone at the Tryon Fine Arts Center, I'm Andy Millard. We'll see you next time.
Another girl, you're enough.